Welcome to BlackBeltBeauty Radio. Get ready. It's time to rise. Hey, you guys, welcome back to another episode of BlackBeltBeauty Radio. This solo-sode is meant to help all of you who ask the question, how do I find my purpose? What is my purpose? It's a big question. And what I have observed is that it's really overwhelming a lot of times to people. And my goal with this episode is to share 5 key points that will really help you to be on this path that is going to truly help you step into your purpose or purposes in life. So let's dive right in. So first things first, your purpose in life cannot come before you know who you truly are. Period. End of story. It's really logical, actually, right? When you think about what true purpose is and where it's born from, it's really an internal mission, right? It's driven from real passion and meaning and truth. And that comes after knowing who you truly are. Because when you know who you truly are, you're very clear on your core desires, your sort of life principles and the things that really matter to you, the big goals that you have, what doesn't matter to you, and all of that stuff, right? Then when you really start to understand and connect with these facets of your being, what truly lights you up and what truly doesn't, then you can start to move yourself towards this so-called purpose in life. So number one is you have to do this work, self-inquiry work. If you're like, well, I don't even know who my authentic self is, cool. Not, easy necessarily to fully understand for the, majority if you're not doing deep inquiry work. And the reason for that is because, and this is one of the reasons I talk about the authentic self all the time, but, there's a lot of external voices, noise, opinions, ideas that come at all of us, since the time that we arrived, on the planet. And, from, even our youngest years, when literally programs are being put into our subconscious brain to then moving forward and, living our life, we're at a constant, battle with, even if we don't realize it, with what is really true to us, who we truly are, what we truly are interested in, what we truly want to do or not do versus what we think we should do, what we were told to do, what we, have been scripted to believe is the right thing to do, etc. Right? So all of that stuff can make it really hard to hear your authentic voice, to know who you truly are. So step one to this, finding your purpose, living your purpose, is you need to spend real intimate time with yourself, getting to know who your authentic self is. And let's just say you're already there, I would say then it's just this continuation of work, and listen, there's nothing, this work might sound, daunting or boring or uninteresting to some, probably not you if you're listening to me on this podcast, but it's the best work that you could ever do. And it is life work, right? Because we're always evolving. And so we need to be constantly checking in with our being, our capital SELF, right? If you see my writing, it's always capitalized when I am writing self, right? So to summarize this first point, your life purpose will not arrive until you fully know who your authentic self is and you can stand in this expression of yourself consistently. And if you need support to, try and understand more of your authentic self, to connect more with your authentic self, journaling, just scripting whatever comes out of your consciousness when you go to the page, asking yourself questions. I've created You Are the Path, a guided journal to help you specifically with this exact thing that I'm talking about, because journal prompts really help to set you up mentally, creatively, for you to deep dive inward and to really just get to know yourself better, right? And so once you really do start to connect with your authentic self and you lead your life from your authentic self, it's going to show you what really matters to you and what doesn't, what lights you up, what's really important, what can you not stop thinking about that, excites you, that you want to get up and get after, every day of your life, or at least a big part of it, right? Which that's going to lead me to the next one. But yeah, that's the first starting place to discovering your life purpose or purposes. All right. So number 2, I already kind of hinted at. So number 2 is your life purpose does not have to be a sole focus, right? So you're here to evolve. You're going to continuously evolve. And what does that mean? That also means that your interests will evolve. I mean, you could probably think back to, however many years you want to think back, like where have your interests changed? What are you paying most attention to? I know in my 20s, and I'm running around New York City and, my life there and, just grinding and building, what I was working on over there completely, that was such a different life and interest as to my 30s when, oh my goodness, like I just, my Fridays and Saturday nights were listening to scientists give lectures on metabolism and, really geeky, awesome, health-related subjects, right? My interests even though I was always interested in those specific areas, the amount of attention and focus that I was then willing to give to it shifted, right? And so when you think about your life purpose, I think it's really important to just maybe take away the whole life in front of it and understand that, you're here to evolve. Give yourself the space to have, maybe one focus and mission at a certain point of your life. And if it evolves, great. It's designed to evolve with you, right? If it's just one long-standing mission that just carries you through the rest of your life, well, that's great too, right? There's no right or wrong here. But my goal, again, is to help individuals who really get stumped and feel like they're not doing it right, or they don't even know how to do it around, on the subject of discovering and living in your purpose. It starts to become overwhelming. It's defeating the whole purpose, because whether it's a singular purpose or several purposes in your life, the purpose is designed to keep you lit up, fired up, intrinsically motivated on a mission moving towards something, right? So if you start to feel that, even just from trying to think about what this means to you and what your purpose is and how do you find it. And, it can feel very debilitating and almost, just very uninspiring and make you not want to even think about the subject or look in that direction because it just feels kind of overwhelming, right? So again, number 2 is allow yourself to have more than one purpose, if or more than one focus purpose throughout your life, right? So maybe it's at this season of your life, you are so focused in your business to help, that specific type of client that's your, niche or avatar or whatever it is, right? And you are just absolutely driven by a certain mission that has been established that you feel inside of you, and you take that and you take it far, and then maybe like 2 seasons from now it shifts. Because maybe you achieved everything that you wanted to achieve with that. And now there's like a different mission that's even more elevated, or maybe has nothing to do with anything like that. Maybe it's like now you want to go do something that's, driven towards nature or more, whatever. Like, again, my point is we don't ever want to put ourselves in some box. I'm so fucking anti-box. I've been anti-box my whole life. It just intuitively and inherently never felt good to me to have to size myself down to one thing and fit into this one thing, because just, in my life, I've been interested in so many different things, throughout my life, from, my writing and poetry, philosophy, neuroscience, sports, anything related to biology, physiology, astronomy, new age, like astrology, like the list goes on, right? And so, I always like this whole concept of just putting yourself in this one small category and then moving through your life in that box. Man, the rebel in me is just like fucking ripping that box, like laughing at the box, It never worked for me, and how that relates to the subject of finding your purpose. Again, just to kind of put a bow on the second takeaway here is, do not put pressure on yourself that you have to have one focus of your life purpose. No, maybe this is your focus right now, and then it evolves into something else later. And that's beautiful. That's fucking lovely. Allow that to happen, right? So let's get into number 3. Number 3, your purpose does not need to be philanthropic or, quote, pressworthy. It does need to be genuinely meaningful to you. Again, people hear the word life purpose and they automatically think, oh, I need to be doing something so big for the world out there that's like, worthy of the Nobel Peace Prize or something. I don't fucking know. I'm just saying, like, it's that gnarly. Like, people get that overwhelmed, and, it's so crazy because it just puts all this unnecessary pressure on yourself, that doesn't need to exist. Life is supposed to be adventurous and mysterious, and you figure it out along the way, kind of fucking fun. It's not supposed to be this, oh my gosh, like if I'm not, shifting the entire world with, the work that I do, like, do I even matter? That's just such bullshit. And I get where that can come from. I get it. But I'm here to always, always, always keep you rooted in your fucking autonomy. And that is where your authentic self is. And that's where you are going to evolve at your highest self-expression. And we need to honor that. Your self-expression is actually the greatest gift to the world. When you're operating from your authentic self and you are continuously evolving your, higher expression, because you're going to, in that process, in that, authentic process, you're going to discover real things that you love. You're going to discover your true gifts, your true interests. You're going to be drawn to skills that, make a difference to you, and you're able to absorb them better and get fucking great at them. And all of that ends up, whether you realize it or not, contributing to the world, right? It just does. Like, I've been a communicator my whole life, to the point where my mom had to come sit in class with me once because I'd get in trouble for talking, because I just love communicating with my friends in class, And so, one day I'm taking a test, and my mom, and she's such a badass, I love her, she had to come sit while we all took the test, and obviously that was designed to embarrass me, but my mom's dope. So it was cool to have her there. But, the point was, I got in trouble for being me, right? For doing what I naturally love and am talented and gifted at, right? And this is just something that I've fostered, and I've actually, then throughout my life, I would give more attention to it, give it more respect, and then it would become my career, right? But it wasn't something that, I'm not saying it needs to always be inherent, but in this case, in my case, it was, communication. It could definitely be some kind of, you never touched it before kind of skill, and you go out and you become, the best at it. That can absolutely, but that still has to come from your genuine interest, right? So to bring that whole piece back, you don't need to have your purpose be this Nobel Peace Prize. If it is, great. we need to really make sure that any kind of mission that is driving us is authentic. It's something that we truly are lit up from inside about, and we want to relentlessly pursue, whether it's trustworthy or philanthropic and, making massive impact on a very large, loud scale in the world. That's irrelevant. That doesn't matter, right? There's so much impact that's happening every single day in the most silent, non-flashy kind of ways by just a human, a good fucking human showing up genuinely, being empathetic and compassionate and just being a healthy, heart and soul, good human expression in the world. And that person is absolutely impacting the world, right? Now, whether they would say that that's their life purpose or not, that I don't know, but I'm just trying to really, again, soften the, overwhelm of how do I find my purpose? So just keep that in mind. Can it be philanthropic? Can it become super, press-worthy and loud in that way? Absolutely. Totally. I'm not here to limit ever. But what I am here doing right now is saying, don't try and just look in these categories like, oh, if it doesn't fit over here in philanthropic, then, is it really a worthy purpose? Well, it is if it fucking means something to you. If it's waking you up every day and it's driving you and it's, what excites you and inspires you, then yeah, it is absolutely fucking worthy, right? And that leads us to number 4. Number 4, your purpose should not be seeking external validation for it to be meaningful. Okay? Just want to make that clear. I'm not saying that we don't need or want external validation for the things that we do. No. Yes, I want you to subscribe to this podcast, like it, share it, love it, comment. That's external validation. So yes, we do want that. We need that. But I don't need anybody to do that for me to be driven to get into studio every week and create these episodes. Period. I am so driven internally to create this podcast with all my heart, give it everything I got, relentlessly take it to the next level and then the next level and the next level. And that just means out further and further and further into the world, into your heart, into her heart, into his heart, like go, 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 right? I don't need any external validation to make it meaningful to me. The mission itself is so fucking meaningful to me. Now, usually when you are operating authentically in a mission like this, you will get external validation, but I just want to make it clear. Number 4 is don't be creating some purpose, to get external validation and like for the external to say, oh yeah, that's important. That means something. That's not genuine. Then you have to go back to the authenticity piece. Number 1, like, where are you? Who are you? Where are you really trying to come from right now? Right? The most important person that it has to be meaningful to is you, because you're going to do the damn thing. It's all you, right? Your purpose is you, right? It's you getting up every day, embodying the mission and fucking living it forward, period. So it needs to be meaningful to you. Now, if that generates external validation, fabulous, wonderful. And it likely, depending on what it is, if it's something that is, contributing very outwardly to society, then, it certainly will come in at some point or another. But you don't ever want to be, designing this, this is my purpose. Everybody give me attention and applaud me so I know that it's meaningful, because that's bullshit, straight up, So don't do that. And if you find yourself doing that, okay, Don't judge yourself. Just understand that, you're probably just in a place where you really need some kind of validation. Maybe there's something inside of you that isn't being seen, heard, or felt. So I always say, go to the journal, go have a conversation with yourself. What do you need right now to be seen, heard, or felt, to get that validation that you're seeking, and have that honest conversation with yourself in your journal. See, hear, and feel you by you in your journal, and just let whatever comes out. This is how you're going to really connect with your authentic self. Not to mention, you're going to forge an unbreakable bond with this pure expression of yourself, and it will become the sole expression that you operate your life with. And then your purpose shows up to meet you. You don't seek your purpose. Your purpose fucking comes at you, but you got to be operating from your authentic self, period. Final takeaway on this subject. So this one might sound like number 2, having one focus, but it's actually not. It's you can have more than one purpose. You can have purposes that are powerful life purposes, right? You can be, a parent, and one of your main life purposes is to, bring up your children or child in the most incredible of ways, giving them the best opportunities for them to have a life where they are thriving. And that is a damn fucking honorable and worthy, super respectable purpose to have in life, right? Simultaneously, you can also have some kind of other purpose that's, mission-based in your business, or your, in your workspace, or maybe it's in some kind of organization that you are a part of. Why do we have to have one? Why? Who said that? And the reason why I say this is because, again, it's true. It's always like my life purpose. It's singular. It's not, and it's so like there's just a hard period at the end of it. Like, this is it. And I'm like, who the fuck designed that? Probably the same fucking people who want to keep you in a box and have you functioning, one way all your life. That is just, yeah. Anyways, if you're not watching this on YouTube, you're missing out right now, because my face expressions right now are so fucking potent, because this is a really important subject. I know in my own business, connecting, coaching, mentoring so many women around the world, this does come up, because everyone wants to feel like they're here with deep purpose, right? Like they're here contributing, that their life has meaning, right? That's really what it comes down to. You want to feel like your existence provides a sense of meaning. And, I'll insert this for fun. Personally, I've never asked that question, the proverbial, what's the meaning of life? And, as I would get older in my life, and the question would come up and you'd hear about it, I'm like, how come I've never asked myself that? Like, I've genuinely never been interested in the question. It's never been provocative to me at all, right? And I think the reason for this is because I'm like, well, how do you even narrow it down to one thing? First of all, meaning is subjective. So what are we like? Is it a competition? Like, whose idea is going to be the best? That doesn't work, right? And then I think to myself, and especially in the nature of which I live and have lived, how is it one thing? It's not going to be one thing, certainly not for me. A woman who honors my evolution, encourages it, embraces it. Like, my purpose, you want to know what my life purpose is? Like, might seem like, because I'm so passionate about my business, and yes, there is a big, powerful mission that is totally driving me every day, every single day in my life, that is derived from my business. So there is a sense of purpose that I am living with that's derived from my business. But I'll tell you what comes before that even. My greatest purpose is to continuously support and allow my personal self-expression to evolve. And I touched on this earlier because I've learned, it's just for me anyways, what I believe, that when I study my life, I'm like, man, because you've always lived from your most authentic self and you've allowed yourself to taste, try, touch the flame. Ooh, that hurt. Like, oh, let me try this. And now I'm growing over here. And now I'm growing over here. And now I'm growing over here because I've always allowed myself to do this. It's just put me in this position where I've really connected with my gifts, knowing like what my gifts are, and also deeply knowing what fucking matters to me. So then I can then decide where I want to invest my life, right? My energy, my focus, my interests, right? So because I allow myself to continuously evolve, and whatever that means, it means like wherever we're going, we're going. I'm living in this city, now I'm in this country. I'm in this career, now I'm over here. Like, it doesn't matter. If it's what my heart is saying yes to, then I'm going to, I'm going to respect my heart and I'm going to investigate, and then I'm going to, put action towards it and allow myself to live into that expression and allow that expression to take me wherever it is that I'm supposed to be going, So how could I have one meaning? I mean, the meaning for me is, the purpose is just to continuously allow that process for me to have, allow that process to unfold for me. And the coolest part is that because I have done that and I continue to do that, the side effect of that is that I'm actually here contributing at large to the fucking world, getting the most incredible messages from so many of you, and just say thank you with all my heart straight to camera to those of you who, leave me the comments on YouTube and come into my DMs and tell me that your lives are literally changing from the content that I'm sharing, the messages and all that. I don't take that lightly. That's a big fucking deal, right? But that's coming as a result of me being true to myself. Do you understand what I'm saying? So my purpose then, if I want to keep doing that and do it even more and even more, then I need to honor me being true to myself. Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. So let's see if I can recap this. Number one, your purpose cannot come before you are clear on who you are and you operate from your authentic self, period. Number two, you don't have to have one focus purpose. You can have, this is my purpose right now. I feel super driven and inspired, and I'm getting after this purpose right now. And then a couple years later, your purpose shifts and evolves, and that's perfectly fine and beautiful and badass. Number three, it does not need to be press-worthy or philanthropic. For it to have meaning, it just needs to be genuinely meaningful to you. And if it happens that it ends up being press-worthy and philanthropic, that's fucking awesome too. Number four, you cannot create your purpose with this ask for external validation to make it meaningful. It has to be genuinely meaningful to you. And if and when external validation comes in after that, great. But it cannot, you don't create the meaning through the external validation, because then it's not true. It's not true. You're just not being true, right? And number five is you can have more than one life purposes, right? So hopefully this fucking eased things up for you on this subject. And, if you need to play this back at another point, save the episode and, and remind yourself of these things. Like, we don't need to add extra pressure, unnecessary pressure. Life already provides enough pressure, and if you're really reaching for great things in your life, there's going to be pressure on that path too, right? But we want to be very discerning about the, unnecessary pressure that we all, myself included, just unconsciously fucking put on ourselves at times. So hopefully I helped you with that, like ease some of that and maybe, just set you up even just to be closer to whatever your purpose and purposes are in life. I would love that. So please let me know if you're watching this on YouTube. Definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Talk to me in the comments. I love connecting with you there, as well as if you're taking this in audio, meet me on Instagram, go into my DMs. I'm at Roxy Look or BlackBeltBeauty. Share it up on your IG stories and tag me. Go into the post on IG, comment there. I mean, there's so many different ways to connect with me, and I'm here for all of them. So if you have not already given this podcast a 5-star rating and review, please take a moment to do so. You will find the link to do this in the show notes of this episode and really every episode. Super easy. Just click the link. You can hit 5 stars. And if you'd like to leave a review for me and my team to read it, we would love that. We appreciate everything that's coming in. It's making a massive difference. So there you go, right? Maybe that's part of your purpose, just to continuously support those who are supporting you, and we all make the world a fucking stronger place. Boom. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at BlackBeltBeauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.